Hello again, everybody. This is Rocket Rick J18 coming to you from the launching pad. And the first thing I want to do today is to show you a uh, special project which Skaght uh, Reindeer Studios uh, really did all the work. I mean, to be honest with you, I didn't do any of it. Uh, but I did ask him if he would agree to do it, and he said yes. And so he did, and I just got it. The results of it, although Scott is very busy because he's very good, and he's uh, he's a special friend at anyway, I won't go into all of that, but suffice it to say, I want to show you the results of his efforts and show you what I have. So, what I'm going to do is turn and I'm going to bring it into focus, and here it is. You're you're witnessing the unveiling of what I think is going to become my logo and maybe become a banner for my all of my videos. We'll see how that goes. That's going to require me to learn something new, which I'm not especially good at. So you might have to wait a little while for that to happen. But right now, I have these very fine stickers, which I commissioned from Scott, and you can see it looks a lot like Scott's one of his T-shirts that features a rocket ship with a squirrel sitting on it, and the squirrel is head is inside the space helmet. And anyway, the rest is all Scott's idea of how to graphically display it. So he's got, Rocket Rick on the letters going across the length of the ship, and then across the top of the ship, it has J18. So together, obviously, that makes Rocket Rick J18. And the Yankees hat is because most often wear a Yankees hat. Occasionally, I wear another hat, and but so this is I'm just thrilled to death over this, and I hope to be able to pass some of these out at shows that I go to, and at you know Strongsville. I am planning to go to Strongsville. I'm going to miss, and I did miss, the September Philadelphia show, which I was going to attend. Um, it actually is this coming weekend, but I won't be there. I had, as I may have mentioned to some of you, a health setback related to, you know, uh, problems at the Strongsville show back in April and shortly thereafter. So I had a couple of tests done, and they showed that I had some other issues, And so I'm on a new medication, which I think is taking care of those issues. And yesterday, I had a heart loop monitor implanted in my just under my skin, and that's going to make sure that I either don't have or that I do have an atrial fibrillation, and that, as many of you know, can cause some other problems, including the one that I experienced in Strongsville. So, in any case, I'm through all of the tests. If they come back uh, without any change um, in the atrial fibrillation arena, then the only thing that uh, will be different as a result of the tests that I had is that I'll be taking a new medication, and the new medication will take care of the problem. So, you know, I don't mind talking to you all about this if you're interested, but I don't necessarily want to do it in a public forum. So, um, but I'll be happy to talk to anybody individually that has an interest in it. So that's what's going on, and then if I do have the atrial fibrillation, I probably will have to go on another new medication um, with a stronger blood thinner, and that would be probably the fix for that. So more to follow, but I think the worst is behind me. So um, I hope to go to I'm planning to go to the Garfield show in October, the 19th. That's a Sunday. And so I hope that my friends who go to that show will be going, and I'll check in with you all if I know that you normally go to that show. So that's going to happen, and then I may possibly consider going to the Philly show in December, and I'd like to do that, but that's that, that's yet to come. So, um, so that's where we are, and this is great, and I love it, and you're going to see more of it. And if you have an interest in having one of these stickers, let me know and send me your home address, and I'll send one to you. And if you see me at a show, I'll have some with me. I'd be glad to give you one there. So that's what's going to happen in the near future, and I'm really looking forward to that. I'm going to turn the camera back around, and okay, and well, I don't know what that is, but having some problems here. But hopefully they're all taken care of. So we'll just go ahead and assume that it's going to be all right. So the next things that I have to show you are um, there we go. some cards that represent some sets that I'm working on, and they are all either 1936 Goudey R314 premiums, larger size cards that you've seen on this channel and others before. And I have one 1940 play ball card that I haven't shown to you yet. And so those are my pickups for sets. And let's turn the camera down and look at those. So this is the first card. This is the 1940 play ball Muddy Ruel. And Muddy's actual given name is Harold. And near and dear to my heart, his regular job when he wasn't playing baseball or coaching baseball for the Chicago White Sox in 1936. He was a lawyer. So he had been a catcher, active from 1917 through 1934. Good defensive and handler of pitchers, pretty decent hitter, excellent fielding average, .982. And he played for the Yankees, Red Sox, Senators, the Red Sox again, the Tigers, the Browns, and the White Sox. And he wound up with a career batting average of .275, which is not shabby in the slightest. And he did play in the World Series 1 year. I think it's with the 1924 Senators. So that's Harold Muddy Ruel as a coach. There are a number of coaches and a few managers in the 1940 play ball set. And Harold was one of them. So again, this is card number 127 of 240 cards. And I'm gradually working my way from 1 through 127. Not sure exactly how many I still need, but I know for sure I need Moberg, which is card number 30, and probably one or two others in between 101 and 127. And then I need a bunch more above 127. So that's what's going on with the 1940 play ball set. And next is the 1936 Goudey R314 premiums. And let's take a look at these cards. So the first card I have to show you is Lou Finney. He's with the Philadelphia Athletics, although you can read that it has written by somebody, a fan, no doubt, that has written that Boston Red Sox on it. So this is a Mookie Chilson special. As you can see, the pinhole at the top. A number of these cards have pinholes, so the blanks, backsides are blank, and somebody, probably the same fan, or maybe a different fan, typed Boston Red Sox across the top of the card, and you can see the pinhole really much better on this side, and there's another one at the bottom, a double pinhole. So that's Lou Finney, and these cards are unnumbered, so they are in alphabetical order. The next card is Sam Leslie, and Sam is pictured here with the New York Giants. Again, this is one of those cards where he's just looking right straight at the camera, as was Lou Finney and several other in here. I'll just point out the pinholes. And these are all type 1s, so they have a border, and they have the printed words at the bottom along that border, litho in USA, and a facsimile autograph. Next is Fred Ostermuller, and he is with the Brooklyn Dodgers, I believe. And this card does not have any pinholes, but it is also, looking dead straight at the camera lens, and therefore he appears to be looking dead straight into you. Of course, he's sort of side lit on the lower half of his face and the left side of his uniform. And with something in the background that could be part of the stadium, I suppose, maybe. Hard to tell. So that's Fred Ostermuller. He's a pitcher, and a pretty good one. Here is Bill Swift with the Pirates, and this is another double pinhole top and bottom card. And next is Cecil Travis, and it's noted on the back of the card that he has been in the United States Army. And of course, this is well prior to the onset of World War II. These are 1936 cards. These are both double pinholes with a slight amount of paper loss right at the top there where the pinhole blew up, I think. Next is Rabbit Worstler, and this, let's see if I can figure out this team is. And I'm pretty sure it's the Athletics. So, and he's pictured batting with a full, not a portrait photo, but more of an action shot. No pinholes in this one. And then lastly, we're looking at Bill Werber, I'm sorry, with the boy, I don't know if that's That may be Boston Braves. I think it is, but if you know, maybe you can point that out in the comments below. So that's what I have to show you. Uh, Additions, and I've gotten to the point now where I have at least 50 of these cards, and I haven't really totaled up how many exactly there are, but I think more than halfway there with the at least with the Type Ones. Now the Type Twos, they're cards that um, are just like the Type 1s, except they do not say litho in USA at the bottom. The Type 3s are just like the Type 2s, except they don't have a border. The picture goes for the entire width and length of the photograph, hence they're borderless. The Type 4 cards really were issued in 1937 and are so referenced in many of the YouTube videos taking into account this subject. I don't have any Type 2s or Type 3s, but I do have a Type 4. At least I believe it's a Type 4, and it's the creamy finish or brownish cream finish. No litho in USA. They do have borders, and it's the well, I'm not sure offhand who it is. I think it might be a Mel Harder, but it could also be another player. So I have to look at that, and I'll show you that one maybe the next time I do a video that includes some R314s. And then finally, there's a Type 5, which is all Canadian players. So they're Canadian professional baseball players. So let's go ahead and turn the camera up. I want to talk a little bit about another subject that is really, I saw really an outstanding video on this subject by Jay Hawker, at Jay Hawker. And he was talking about how he collects, and I find that his sentiments exactly mirror mine. Now, I don't know who in particular is talking about whether there's going to be a big bubble and it's going to blow up, and if you're not paying attention to this, you're going to somehow your entire hobby is going to be ruined. And I can assure you, my hobby is not going to be ruined. And I have paid some pretty good prices for cards, especially in the last few years when, I've completed all of my mainstream tops and Bowman sets, with the exception of the 1952 tops. It is complete for the run from 1 to 310. And then I have 18 cards now with in the high numbers series, but they're all relatively inexpensive ones. And so I'm working on that, and I'm going to spend some time with it. And if I pay a little bit more for cards now than I can get over the course of the next few years, that's a win for me because I'll still be buying cards. And I can remember buying uh, 52 Topps cards for $1 a piece, or even less than $1 a piece. So my average expense for these cards under any scenario is not very high, and I can't tell you exactly what I paid for everything because I only started really keeping close track of that in the last 3 or 4 years. But I can tell you, just as an example, that my 1951 Bowman Mickey Mantle, which I bought raw uh, well over 20 years ago, I bought it from a mail order, so it was pre eBay, and I paid a, considerably less than $1,000 for it. Now I graded a 2.5 PSA 2.5, which I had it graded at the Atlantic City National in 2022. Um, and it cost me more to have it graded than I paid for the card. So I'll just say that round numbers, it was about $1,000. But I did that really for my wife's benefit, to give her a frame of reference for what it might be worth at such time as she might wish to sell it. I don't ever intend to sell it. I'd have to be in desperate financial shape, which, certainly could happen, but I hope it doesn't happen. Um, and I'm not planning on it to happen. And I'd sell a lot of other things before I'd sell that card. So um, that's just I don't. I've sold a few cards, mainly to duplicates to put into other cards that I wanted to get, and I did that a little bit at the most recent. No, at the I did it at the Strongsville show. I sold some cards there, and I used the money to buy a particular card of the National, and that was my T206 Walter Johnson portrait card. So I didn't. Now I'm hasten to say I spent more money on that card than I sold cards for, but it went a long ways towards paying for that. And I don't regret selling those cards because they're all cards that I have duplicates of. And I'm going to continue to do things like that. I think some, not a lot, because I don't have a lot of duplicate cards. To be honest with you, the ones I do have would probably be more along the lines of cards that I've had graded since, and I just grade cards not really for the grades themselves or to know what they're worth necessarily, but I grade them because I want to know you know what their what they might be worth for, again, for such time as my wife might be interested in selling them, and help her to learn and know the uh, what the value of the raw cards might also be. And I have a financial advisor who, while he is not necessarily knowledgeable about baseball cards, he has some clients who are very knowledgeable about baseball cards, not including me. I don't really regard myself as an expert, but he's got some pretty good people, and I think he would help my wife, along with some of the friends that I've made in the hobby. Um, I'm very satisfied with the way I collect. I collect what I like, and I like what I collect, and I am not a bit worried about what it's going to cost, what it cost me to buy. Um, Mainly because I don't really ever intend to sell any of those cards. Um, it's not something that interests me, and I don't. The vast majority, probably 99% of all of my vintage cards, and many of my modern cards, because I have modern tops sets through 2025, the base cards, and a few, you know, other cards sprinkled in here and there. I have most of the 1980s and early 90s Fleer cards, including the updates. Except for the '84 Fleer update, I only have the three um, Mike Payne cards. The and I have the Donruss cards, uh, the Upper Deck cards, the Bowman cards, and uh, so those are all cards that I have in my collection, and I'm extremely satisfied with the way that I collect and the cards that I have. And if I've paid a little more for some of them, it's more than compensated for in the fact that I just like to look at them and I like having them. And I'm a set collector, um, and that's what I like to collect. And I've collected a lot of them. I probably have somewhere north of 100 120 baseball sets. I've got uh, a handful of hockey sets, uh, including a couple of vintage hockey sets. Um I have some uh, vintage basketball sets from if you count the 80s as vintage. I have some 70s cards, not sets, but just cards. Uh, I traded probably my best uh, basketball card for a 1949 Bowman Satchel Paige card. Uh, and yeah, so I don't have that 1986 '87 famous basketball card in a PSA 7 because I traded it for that, which I much rather have the Satchel Paige card because that's what I collect and it's what I like. I'd got the card for that I traded in on the Bowman 49 Bowman Satchel Paige because I had a young friend who didn't he wasn't collecting cards anymore. He had that card along with a second year card of the same famous basketball player. He also had a rookie of Joe Montana, and he had two Jim Brown cards, all of which I got graded. Graded football, graded basketball, uh, and a few graded hockey cards. So that and that's what I collect. That's what I like. And if you don't like it, then you shouldn't collect it. Uh, if you do like it, then and you can afford it. It's not hurting anybody. I don't see any reason why you shouldn't continue to collect it. If you're interested in making money from sports cards, God bless you. I wish you all the luck in the world. And may all your collecting dreams come true. But it's not what I do. And I'm not interested in doing what you do. You should do what you do. And I'm going to do what I do. And that's the way it should be. So I agree with you, Jay Hawker. You're right spot on as far as I'm concerned. And I know that many of my collecting brothers feel the same way. Uh, and, good for us. I don't know where all this started with. We have to all collect the same way, and if we don't, we're going to be subject to financial ruin. We are not. This is just a hobby. You collect what you like, and you can collect it when the card's values are going up. You can collect it when the card values are going down, or when they're just staying the same. And if you do it long enough, it's going to work out, I believe. Um, if you're a speculator and you think that you're going to be able to make some money by speculating, again, I wish you all the luck in the world. It's not what I do, and I don't intend to do it. So, anyway, that's my piece. Uh, you guys go forward however you want to do things. You can say what you like to do. If you want to do that in the comments, or you want to make a video response, or make another video that talks about how you collect cards, by all means, you should do all of that. That's the fun part of the hobby. Uh, Good on you, as they say down under. Um, so, with that in mind, this is Rocket Rick J18 coming to you from the launching pad and wishing that all your collecting dreams come true.